Seen her yet. Actually, that's probably the first teacher I've seen here.
Mr. Walker.
Well, no, Mr. Rocker. This is the thing. I should have been more player.
I was just kidding.
Other than Mr. Rocker. And yeah, Mr. Rocker.
Mom called Uncle Booney, and he goes, "Tell Brina I was at her school for 4 hours today." I said, "I bet."
I never saw him. Was he really?
No.
Okay.
He's just being mean to me.
Didn't he stop by and see me, really? My feelings would be hurt.
And then he goes, "I'll be there to get tested." I go, "Well, that's not going to help me out." Oh, there's his finger. I only came here because I get extra credit.
That's what matters.
Isaac! There's his finger. You still don't like
Dad, you can sit there by yourself.
Hey, guess what? I'm only paying him for the extra credit. I figured I had to be 6 like that. I would have to just sit. I got
I know, right? I need to
Who's that?
She's a swimming teacher.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. Do I gotta sign in? Isaac, have you signed in?
I didn't know these things say anything. Do I have to sign in? Yeah, we should probably tell him this girl.
He like went out that door like a couple of
They'll
minutes.
come back. Yeah, we're gonna they always do.
So y'all are gonna stay back there? Y'all gonna sit up here?
Yeah, probably.
Hi. Where's my sulfate? What did I put on something?
This is supposed to be happy.
Actually, that's not my reason I'm playing.
Oh, the lady's here.
Oh, yeah. I got a 61.
I made a 64.
She's totally wrong.
Yeah, but I'd sit over there.
How do you feel? There's like a wide open gap. I had Stiffy. Yes.
That was great.
You're a beautiful child.
About what?
Just so you
I just know.
inside and outside you put
Right up here next to us. Soon as we get to the front of the podium. It's in that sack of stuff, and I have my own copy up there on the stage. And
Just me. 6 something.
You all can come on and help yourself. We have punch and cookies over here. Come on, don't be strangers, don't be shy. Are you reading tonight?
No.
Are you reading a poem tonight?
Would you like for me to?
Do you want double extra credit?
That'd be nice, but I don't have a poem to read, so I should. Or I would
You
give.
have to go upstairs and get one out of my room and write for me. Unless you put one in the contest. Did you? You did, so I have your poem down here. It's up to you though.
I don't remember what I wrote.
You put about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 in the contest. Do you want to come over here and steal?
Sure.
And Todd, Maggie.
Hey. Are we
It's the
How about you let me read that one instead?
Whatever you want. Instead of the.
Maggie Children.
Yeah.
And I'll take Maggie with me.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
yeah, oh my God.
over there? Over there.
Hey Keely, awesome job.
Oh, okay.
Love the
It's pretty
video.
bright, isn't it?
I love the video. I understand. Understand nothing.
I think there's gonna be a cookie.
What?
Where's the sign-in sheet?
Okay.
Wow, they're rolling now. What's the rest of your family at?
She didn't want to call. Barley's
No.
Dad's at a union. It's a monkey back.
Look at the chair. This is where the party's at, right here.
Brandon wrote it, and like I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, oh, Brandon.
Oh gosh, it's free.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I bet she's like.
Hers are so depressing. Though.
Hers are deep.
What do you write so depressing songs for? I think so. Deep and depressing is very similar.
Yeah.
I don't have this
You're such a happy person.
What? Oh.
Double credit.
Here, I'll find some.
Get an A.
Here's your.
Good. Yes, good seeing you too. Oh, Tim.
How you doing?
And two of mine are back here, so they just came.
I'm standing.
I didn't think of it.
Some cupcakes and lunch. Cookies and lunch over there. Y'all want to You doing okay?
I've heard this before. I like that.
It's good when you actually remember the poem.
Oh, you actually stands out, yeah.
Yeah, like that's how Rhiannon writes. It's great.
Bunch of people watching, tuned in now.
I'm the only one right now.
Well, also you can actually make
We
it
got
rhyme.
one
I
watching.
can never make it rhyme.
Well, the number could double. I mean, it's possible. It's started yet.
If it doesn't win, I'm gonna like cry. I'll just cry. There's.
Where's all the coloring pages you did?
I got one. Yeah, like go find someone else. Yeah, there's like two of them in there.
That's you.
I'm getting the right.
That freed up next week is $2K a year. So
Good evening. I want to welcome everyone. Before we get started, though, I want to ask the students if you intend to read your poetry tonight, and I don't know that, I need you to come up here to see me so I can get you on the list. Also, if there are any students here from Miss Seeger's classes, I need you to come up here and sign something for me because she left a signature sheet for you. Okay, so let's do that right now while everybody's getting cookies and punch.
so they did.
what do you think is my favorite color is? Purple. Do you know what that song is? Who sings it? Just make sure you're not completely.
Okay, again, welcome everyone to Evening of Poetry at OCMS. Last year we had hardly anyone here, and this year we're filled to the brim. So thank you all for coming. But before we do anything, I got to ask you to do something. I want you to look right back there at the American flag. Right below it is a camera. I want you to smile at the camera and say, "Hi world." Hi world. Because we are broadcasting live on the World Wide Web tonight. Yep. So any country you can think of, they're watching us right now. So Evan, don't pick your nose. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what our agenda is tonight. We're going to have some poetry activities to begin. Number one, so I can explain what all those papers are for on your tables. And then we are going to have a celebration of sorts. Excuse me. Usually what we do, and those of you that have been here before know this, is we bring in a professional poet, and that poet will read his or her poetry. We decided this year, and I can't take credit for the idea, it was our principal, Mr. Hoover, who suggested that it would be a good idea to honor Ann Nance this year. And all of us immediately knew that was the perfect thing to do. So that will be what's next on the agenda. We'll have different people coming up and reading some of Ann's poetry and speaking about her. And then we'll take a break, and we'll have, depending on how many people end up reading, we'll have a session of students and teachers reading their own poetry. Excuse me just a minute, the baseball team just arrived. Do we have enough chairs back there, guys? Welcome. All right, so first thing on your table, and I hope there were enough copies, on your table you will find a packet of poetry that says, I think the first one says love at the top. Got everybody warmed up myself. And I have two extras. Boys, if you didn't find enough copies, would you please scoot around where you can see a copy? The first thing I want you to do is look at the very last page, because if you were here last year, you will recognize what we did and what we do every year at Poetry Night. What you're seeing there is the poem April, which is a compilation of lines of poetry that students and parents and friends and family and teachers and principals and poets, everyone who was here last year contributed a line or two of poetry about April, and then I took all of those lines and I compiled them into this poem. And so I want to read what we wrote last year, and yes, we will be doing this again this year. So here shortly we'll see what that's going to be about. So we came up with this. April means to make a fool of me. She is a fool spilled drink in the desert, just crying all the time. Moody but beautiful, she brings fools from afar. April, a spunky young lady, can fool you into calm and serenity, and then, boom. Like dynamite, she can destroy the world. Brutal April cleans in a destructive manner. When I think of April, I cry. One day it will not be remembered. I reminisce mixed emotions and cry tears of joy. Happy, happy, happy. Trees budding and flowers blooming. Green trees waving like flags in the cold night breeze. Green sprouts crawling from loam. like a rainbow with many different colors, like a breath of fresh air, like being washed in a river, like the great awakening after winter's nap, like a beautiful giant waking up from hibernation. Nature's awakening, new opportunities. She brings life to plants, brings newness to life. Everything is renewed. April makes me whole. Without April, the clouds won't cry, the flowers could not bloom, the world would be dirty. Winter would be frozen in time. Summer wouldn't be born. The year would stay stale, dead as a cadaver. Think of a heart beating, pulsing like a new flower sprouting, like a new tree growing. April is the heart of the world, a daffodil of hope. So you may have, if you were here last year, you may have recognized what you added to this poem. And for those of you that don't know, April in the United States is always Poetry Month. And we try to do our poetry night in April. Some years it doesn't work out with scheduling, but we always try to have it in April. So we're here to celebrate Ann Nance, but always we're here to celebrate poetry, and especially her poetry tonight. So last year our subject was April. And if you look back through the packet, you'll see that back in 03 we had the topic of love, and then you look through it and you see the different topics that we wrote about each time we had a poetry night. Tonight, if you will look in your packet of papers there on your desk, you will see a page at the top that says rain. Because this year our topic is rain. And we do, by the way, if you can't find one, we have some extras back here. There are pencils on your tables, and if there weren't enough for your table, we have a few more here. So, girls, y'all looking for a seat? Are y'all looking for a seat? Thank you. Oh, here's two right here. Here's two. Okay. Do we need any more of these? We have plenty? Pencils? Okay. Okay, so let me explain to you, by the way, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I probably don't even need a mic, do I? Okay. I'll remember that tomorrow. Let me explain to you how we do this. Throughout the night, when we have breaks, fill in some of these different lines. I've written quite a few different ways to get you started. You don't have to write on all of these, but if one of them sparks something in you, then write it down. To kind of help you understand what we're looking for, how do I say this? The normal average person, when you ask them what is April, they'll say it's the 4th month of the year. But if you ask a poet about April, they'll give you something like what Edna St. Vincent Millay said at the top of the poem that you looked at earlier. She'll say, April comes babbling like an idiot, strewing flowers. She will personify, like Edna St. Vincent Millay, she personified April. So what we want to do is look for new ways to look at rain. Yes, we know rain is a part of the water cycle, and if you want to write that down, you can. That's fine. Rain is a part of the water cycle, but we want you to try to be a poet tonight. So, to help you, I have a couple quotes. Well, actually more than a couple, about a page full, but I'm not going to share them all. I have some quotes for you about rain I want to share. And if you want to try to guess who said this, you're welcome to do it. Here's the first one. From January to May, the rain, it raineth every day. Actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't sound very poetic, does it? Except it did rhyme, right? Shakespeare said that. That was from Shakespeare. Here's another one. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust.
Goodbye.
Yes, in a roundabout way, yes. Anybody specifically know who in the Bible said that?
Peter.
Well, it's in the New Testament. I'll give you a hint. His words are printed in red. Oh, okay, there we go. Jesus Christ. There we go. He said that. Jesus Christ. Now, one last thing here before we move on. You've got two ways you can look at rain. Some people look at it as a pessimist, and some people look at it as an optimist. Okay, for example, here's what one person said. It always rains on tents. Rainstorms will travel thousands of miles against prevailing winds for the opportunity to rain on a tent. Dave Barry said that, and that's a pessimist, right? He's got a negative outlook. So here's one that's positive. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Dolly Parton said that. Yep. Well, actually, she sang it, but you understand. Let's see. One more. I'm singing in the rain. I guess I should sing the song, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I'm singing in the rain. Just singing in the rain. What a wonderful feeling. I'm happy again. Who was that? I'm asking some of the older folks in here. Who was that? No, it wasn't Jesus. Well, I'll tell you this. The person who wrote it was not the person who sang it. So you might know who sang it. I think it was probably Bing Crosby. Or maybe Fred Astaire, one of those two.
Fred Astaire.
Was it Fred Astaire?
Fred
Okay.
Astaire.
Okay, but he didn't write it. Arthur Freed wrote it. So you get the picture. When you're writing on that page throughout the evening, leave those at the end for me to take with me so that I can put them together. And if you come back next year, you'll be able to see what we all created. Okay? All right. Now, also on your table are a couple poetry activities. For example, I believe I put a word find on there. And also, Ms. Honecker came up with a coloring activity. There's some coloring crayons on your tables and a page there for you to color if you want to, when we're having a break and such. Now, the next thing I'd like for you to look at is the pink page. Everyone should have a copy of the pink page. And I gave all mine away, so I'm going to have to go get one. Here's one. By the way, don't y'all think it looks nice in here?
Yeah.
Where's Miss Honecker?
Beautiful.
And she doesn't want me bringing it up, but she's
She's
responsible.
making more copies since we have over
Oh,
70
is she?
people here
Okay.
tonight.
Well,
Yes.
I believe it. I believe it. But she's responsible. This night would not be what it is without Miss Honecker. So when she comes back in here, we're going to clap really loud. And she's not going to know what's going on, but we're all going to clap and give her thanks. Okay. She also wrote what's on the pink page for you. I want to read that aloud because I think it's really special. Our annual poetry night is dedicated to the memory of Aunt Nance. Aunt Nance holds a special place in the hearts of so many people here at OCMS. We were privileged to know her as a mentor, a co-worker, and a friend. In her roles as a teacher and then as a district writing coach, she touched so many lives. Ann loved sharing her passion for writing with her friends and family, as well as students. One of her favorite types of writing was poetry, and we are proud to honor her memory tonight by reading some of her works. These poems illustrate her immense love for her family. Her words live on through her poetry. We realize we cannot do justice to her words, but we thank her family for allowing us the opportunity to share some of her poems with you tonight. And at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Laura Woods to come up and read. If you would, there's a packet on your tables. That is a packet of Ann's poetry. And if you will turn to page 2. The first poem on this page is Maggie Chilton, and then you have Trapeze and On Craggy Cliffs. Miss Woods is going to be reading Trapeze and On Craggy Cliffs.
That's exactly what I'm
She's retrieving her glasses. Miss Honaker didn't slip in, did she? If she comes in while someone's reading one of the poems, we'll hold off and we'll clap later. Miss Woods, you want to use mine?
Are they bifocal?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if they're strong enough for you or not.
Hey, is that a thing?
They probably are, because if I didn't have my cloth saved. You want to try? Did you?
No, I don't.
I hate to go
Not
through
on
a
top of
purse.
your head, no. That's where
No, that's where they normally are.
Are they bifocal?
Oh, yes. Good. Here we go. Got it. Trapeze. Traipsing back and forth, I dodged a clutter strewn. About the years, am I halfway home? Mother's worry sighs wagged heavily, deciding the outcome of this balancing act. And then on craggy cliffs. In my dreams, I'm riding high on craggy cliffs. My horse picks his way, slowly, carefully. His long neck is skinny. He's bony and old, but still steady. He knows his way home. We plod slowly, the sun in our faces. It's peaceful looking down from rocky heights.
There's one more stanza. The last stanza.
Oh, okay. When I wake, it's a couch, not a horse, and my bones that are old and stiff, not his. Yet, like him, I know my way home.
Thank you, Miss Woods. And now we're going to have Sheila Nance come up, and she's going to read the poem on the same page, but this one is titled Maggie Chilton. And Maggie's coming with her.
I feel very honored and humbled to be able to stand and read one of Ann's poems. She was a great poet, just a wonderful person. She loved her children, her grandchildren, and I think you'll hear that in this poem. This is her youngest grandchild, Maggie. Maggie Chilton, soft, warm earth snuggling into my side, familial, as if she's made of me, a chick nestled under my wing, unexpected gift of gold, tiny, fierce mountain blood, Maggie Chilton Nance. Zachariah's greatest love, jumping on beds, coloring on walls, spinning on the tire swing, higher and higher. Nanny's girl loves butterflies and bunnies. Sophia the First and Minnie Mouse. Chocolate milk and popsicles. Princess Maggie rules our kingdom, commanding our attention, capturing our hearts.
Thanks, Sheila. I don't know where Miss Oscar is. Is she? Thank you, Miss Honaker, for making it look so nice in here and for all the work that you did for us.
No problem.
And speaking of Miss Honaker, she is going to come up and she is going to read, also on the same page, Zach's Outlaw.
Thank you. I had to go run some more copies. It's nice to see everybody out tonight, but I didn't have enough copies. And then, of course, the copier ran out of toner, so that's where I've been. When Mr. Autry asked me to read tonight, I said, of course, I would be honored to. I remember when Ann was here, one of the things that I always loved most about her was her sense of humor. She loved to play practical jokes, things like getting your car keys and moving your car, let's say, to the very back of the parking lot. Just enough where you thought you were kind of going crazy. It's like, I don't think I parked back there. She would never move it anywhere where you would say, call the cops or anything and say, I can't find my car, but it was just like, wait a minute, I know. So she loved to do things like that. And I remember one time she told a story, and some of you may know this story, but she told the story of how a snake came up the toilet drain. And I laughed so hard, my sides were hurting from her telling the story. So I know how much she loved her family, so I chose to read Zach's Outlaw today. A silent taunt, a tease, well-spoken with no words, neck arched defiantly, outlaw rears, black and white flash on the muddy hillside. Too young, too old. He is an awkward teen. Sun glares from patches of clinging snow casting him in neon white. Is he playing? Testing his limits? No words. No words. No words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Honaker. This thing getting lower, or is it just me? Okay, now we're going to have Ann's daughter, Jessica. She's going to come up and she's going to read, these are also in the packet, all three of them. On the back, or the next page, we have Preston and Lullaby for Lennon. And then also, so you're going to go in that order? In this order. You can.
Hi. My mother loved words, and about as much as she loved words, she loved students. Sweet baby. And so this night honors her so much, and she would love all of you students who are here, and she would love all of the adults for putting it together and supporting our family, and we just thank you. Mom said, one of the quotes that I love that was hers, she said, poets are stingy with words. So think about that when you write, and remember, sometimes less is more. And she often said I talk too much, so that's all I'll say. And now I will read some of her poems. I'm going to start with the poem on the front page, and that is Black Gold, and it is a tribute to my grandfather, and my dad and aunt and uncle are all three here, as well as our family, and this is about their daddy. Born in a coal town on Mason's Creek, lean times, hard times. Cradled with mountains rich with buried treasure, treasure dug by men for 50 cents a day. Blackened, worried brows, backs bent by low top, groaning beams, the first of Press and Myra's brood. December of 28, Charles, Cleveland, Nance. Shock of red hair, fiery spirit, loud, long, lanky, strong as an oak, black gold lured him too. Only 15, driving a team of mules, not yet old enough to go down to the mines, digging for payday, but dreaming of the moon in a boundless sky. Cold, clear nights, hounds baying, foxes running, digging for payday. 7 mouths to feed. His legacy, 5 sons, 2 daughters, riding in on a man trip, bucket gleaming, 8 hours, headed to the face, weary black with the dust of one more shift. Echoes from Mason's Creek, Black Gold, Scuddy Hollow, fade as he leads his family off the mountain. A costly gift, this new life. Years pass slower underground. Noisy memories crowded around the table filled with shucky beans, cornbread, potatoes fried in black iron skillets, pickled corn, bean soup, iced tea, and children. Loss, numbing grief, he buried his wife, then first son. Hair now silver, growing older, bone tired, black lung. He lives his children in a priceless inheritance. Discipline, determination, work ethic, simplicity, humility. An unsung hero with a heart of the hills. And now I'm going to share Preston and Lennon's poems. Preston is the middle child, and I kept saying, "Are you not going to write Preston a poem?" And she didn't forever. She wrote Lennon a poem, like I think while she was maybe in the womb, but she would not. And so you know who wrote Preston a poem first was Wade's mama. Wade's mama wrote Preston a beautiful poem because my mother would not. And so there is a beautiful poem for Preston by Emily Everly. But Mom finally did write Preston's poem, and then we thought that she passed before she got to write Maggie's poem. But I found Maggie's poem the day my mother passed away, and so it was a little treasure that we didn't even know about. So I'm going to read Preston's next, and it is on page, is it 4? The back page maybe? Yeah. So Preston. Tiny baby boy, Jessica's son. Born September 30th, 2005. Dark hair, dimpled chin, looking like a Chilton. Pawpaw, Ralph, Wayne, and Lucille. Snuggling him close, I felt a blood tie, that cord bound by strength of generations. Mama's boy, Preston, held on tight. Blue eyes mirrored in mother and son, fierce pirates sailing seas of possibility, clutching pacifiers on every finger. Searching the horizon for swords, knives, and gold, racing downstairs on pillows, jumping from couch to chair to chair. He follows Lennon's footsteps, bound by strength of generations. Winning grin and temper quick as lightning, demanding his way, negotiating with crinkly eyes. Frogs and minnows and flat rocks to skip, trees, vines, fallen limbs, lizards, a single morning glory vining on the path. Clouds shaped like dinosaurs and skeletons. Little man, Diddy's delight, strength of generations, Preston Scott Chin. And they started with Lennon. Lullaby for Lennon was written when Lennon was not even a month old. Sweet dreams, little girl, welcome to this world. Ponies and puppies and fields full of hay, mountains and beaches and backyards for play. Music and mommy and the magic dust of dreams. For you, Lennon Grace, a world of mystical things. lullaby for linen, lullaby for linen. Heaven softly humming, lullaby for linen. Sleep on, little one, dream of sun-filled days. There are mysteries to solve and dragons to slay. There are books to be read and people to meet. You've a unicorn to tame when you wake from sleep. Sweet dreams, little girl, welcome to this world. Lullaby for linen, lullaby for linen. Heaven softly humming, lullaby for linen. And I want to close tonight with a poem, and you'll just have to forgive me if I lose it, because I'm going to try to share a poem that speaks to who started my mother's love of words, and that was her mother. And my grandmother, Lucille Chilton Holiday, loved words and poems and students, and she would love this night too. And she wrote this poem. It's called To My Mother on her 50th birthday. When I walk among my friends, those with soft hair grown white, who know the way of life. I'm sorry, this is not in your packet. I should have warned you. I snuck this one in on him. Okay? But like I said, my mother's mother wrote this poem about her mother. So this is about my great-grandmother. And really, if you're a Chilton, you have a love of words. Wouldn't you agree, Sue Ellen and Arthur and Zach and Maggie? So it's called To My Mother on her 50th birthday. When I walk among my friends, those with soft hair grown white, who know the way of life and do not fear the night. Sometimes they wear a dreamy smile, and these words I often hear. You look just like your mother did when she was your age, my dear. There's a dear old man I know, his face I love to see, for he always smiles so dreamily each time he passes me. Sometimes he'll say with a wistful sigh, in his voice that's like no other, "You're growing up, Lucille, and I think you look just like your mother." I often think in the twilight hour, when the light from the hills has flown, if only I'd never learned to sin and evil never known, perhaps I'd hear the words which could please me like no other. You're a wonderful girl, Lucille, for you see you act just like your mother. And when the purple hills are past and the golden bells shall toll, if the master would only come and smiling look straight through my soul and say in his wonderful voice, which can be like no other, "Well done, thy faithful servant, come in and meet thy mother."
Thank you, Jessica. I had a couple things that I wanted to share. Anne was always writing, but she was always reading too. And a lot of times if she read something, she would mention it to me or send it to me. And I have this poem, and it's been taped to my desk ever since she sent it to me. And then on the back of it, it says, "See if you like this as much as I did." And then, of course, the A has the halo over it. And it's a poem called Woodchucks, and I thought I would share it with you just to let you know, let you hear a poem that I know and like. And it's written by Maxine Cumin. And it goes like this. Gassing the woodchucks didn't turn out right. The knockout bomb from the feed and grain exchange was featured as merciful, quick at the bone, and the case we had against them was airtight. Both exits shoehorned shut with pudding stone, but they had a sub-basement out of range. Next morning, they turned up again, no worse for the cyanide than we for our cigarettes and state store scotch, all of us up to scratch. They brought down the marigolds as a matter of course and then took over the vegetable patch, nipping the broccoli shoots, beheading the carrots. The food from our mouths, I said righteously, thrilling to the feel of the 22, the bullets, neat noses. I, a lapsed pacifist, fallen from grace, puffed with Darwinian pieties for killing, and now drew a bead on the little woodchuck. 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't finish this one. I had something else that I wanted to share too that I wrote for her because, of course, with this coming up, I've been thinking about Ann a lot. And when I think about Ann, I don't know about anybody else, but I always feel like she did more for me than I did for her. I know probably a lot of people feel that way. I wrote a poem for Ann, and I'm going to share it with you. It's called For Ann with the Halo to A. If I could fly time backwards, I'd grip its furry wings and I'd do many gargantuan things, like stop Hitler. But I'd also go back and I'd talk to Ann Nance about that poem, Woodchucks, where the woman tried to get rid of the woodchucks in her garden by gassing them like the Nazis gassed the Jews. And when that didn't work, she shot them with a .22. And we could have talked a good hour about that poem. I don't know how many words you would have let me get in, though. Where did you learn to speak and cut up like that, Ann? You made me smile even when we went to those dreadful writing assessment meetings. Remember those? I'd rather a dentist drill my teeth with Novocaine than sit through those sessions, but you could make me smile and laugh even then. One thing I never knew was, why did you put a halo over the A in Ann? Proudly displaying for God? Being facetious? Just being Ann? I bet it would have been a kick riding horses with you. You get it? Kick? Were you as skilled with horses as you were with language? Were you as fast in the saddle as you were on your feet? Thoughts came to you like lightning. Wise testimonials, witty assertions, clever comebacks. Did you know you were inspiring that way? I'm sorry if I never let you know the world is better because of you, Ann Nance. I know you're up there listening right now, so go ahead and send us a sign. Maybe thunder, or a rainbow, or puffy white clouds that look like animals, or maybe a sunset so delicious it stops us in our tracks. Oh, how about a slow spring rain begging us to come out and play? Just pick a sign and send a word. We'll know it's you. So, I just want to say to the family, thank you so much for sharing Ann with us. And I want to thank God for sharing her with all of us. We're going to take a short break now. And when we come back, we're going to have students and teachers and a few others reading their poetry tonight. Some for extra credit, some for not. But that will take about 5 minutes. Thanks again.
Yeah, you already filled it up.
Everywhere, she brought me 3. There you go out
You expressed it. The other sheets of paper for like the rain. No, they're not up there. I don't know. He told us. Because he said, I'm sure
There was a stack right here that's gone.
I'm sure he told us.
Yeah, hey, which was right?
Jared, have you used your brain thing?
What?
Your brain thing.
Did you even read it?
Which one?
Hey, can I get the eagle? Can I get the eagle? What is it? 4 to 3. 4 to 3? Oh, you're playing the Yankees? Yeah, I want to keep up with it too.
You're playing the Yankees.
Matthew. Either go to this or go to the ball game, and I just feel like I wanted to win. So yeah, we're going to 4. That was subscribed to.
No, I could
We can just run to the home. Oh, wait, we have to do that. Right. He told us to write more. So we are.
Hey, Miss Woods.
Miss Woods.
Yeah, that's better. That's better than me writing this all out.
I'm reading it for 10 extra months. Yeah, you get another 10 extra months.
What do you want? Here you go.
You can make this one
Stupid,
Okay, one last time before we get moving on here. If there are any students from Miss Seeger's classes, you must sign this sheet or she's not going to give you extra credit. Okay? So if anyone from Miss Seeger's classes came in late, I need you to add your name, your signature to this list. And she says she knows your writing. So let's don't try any funny business.
It took me longer to sneeze than it does. Yeah, that's all. Why are you supposed to sneeze? Kind of like the dog that starts making sounds. Yeah, I took her snap and it's
Yeah. It was fun. I liked it. I liked it.
I'll watch about 7 minutes.
Yeah, she made us go.
Come in that much.
All right, about one more minute, then we're going to get started. All right, while the last few people are finding their seats, I want to mention something that I totally forgot. And for some students here, it may be the most important thing of all, and that is, at the end of the evening, this envelope is going to be opened, and there are 3 checks in here. One for $40, one for $25, and one for $10. For the adults here, you don't know this, and the younger students, well, anyone who's not a student at our school or a teacher doesn't know that we have a poetry contest, and our first place gets 40, and the winners are in here. So we're going to hold off to the very end to announce that. But right now, I have a list of a few students here that are going to take the opportunity to read their poetry aloud, and this has always to me been, for every poetry night I've ever done like this is the most important thing to me, is that the students take the opportunity to read in front of an audience. So I know that those of you that are going to do it are sitting out there right now and you're shaking in your boots. You're nervous, your palms are sweaty, your mouth's dry. Right, Chloe?
LOL.
Have you thanked your grandmother yet for the moral support? Think how you'd be feeling right now if she wasn't sitting beside you. Okay, our first reader tonight. Well, I'm going to do what I always do in my classes, and I'm going to see if any of these readers would like to volunteer to go first. Billie Jean, be careful. You know what I do in class when you try to volunteer somebody else, don't you? All right, Evan.
Yes!
Evan Cleveland. Double.
Go Cleveland! Yes!
I didn't say it was nobody talking about I just said it here. As I hear the sound of water rumbling over the rock, I can't read this.
It's your fault.
Can I read? I can't
If you don't read it, it will bring us
So I'm going to throw my fishing rod in the lake, and all of a sudden, I catch a huge fish. Then I go home and cook it because I'm living the greatest life in America. So I'm just going to eat my fish and watch football.
Yes!
Thank you, Evan. Any more volunteers? If we don't have any more volunteers, I'm just going to start right down the list. All right, then, our next reader will be Kylie Bird. Give her a hand.
Okay, my poem's called Roses Bloom, and waltzing in the black of night, the sky is lit with stars so bright. The ballad of a rose's bloom, the music fills the garden's room. Our feet move lighter than the breeze, the dance is slow, we move with ease. As the moon retreats from its perch so high, the sun arises and fills the sky. The moon is gone, it leaves the room, and so it ends through.
Thank you, Kylie. Volunteers? Students, if any of you decide while you're watching, because hopefully you're seeing that it's not painful, these students aren't dropping dead up here when they read, okay? If you change your mind and decide you want to read, just let me know and we'll add you to the list. Our next reader is going to be Chloe Cole. Go, Chloe! You all see how she actually got up and started walking before I even announced her name? Did you see that? How did you know I was going to call your name?
Confidence!
You got to start.
I obviously don't like talking in front of people, so I swear. Life is like summertime. I woke up to the sweet sunrise. Summer was truly paradise. The sun was shining, oh so bright. I looked out the window and saw some kids flying their kites. But as the days passed by, summer weather said goodbye. The nights were falling colder and the days were falling shorter. I hope this weather wasn't here to stay because my summer was slowly slipping away. The weather was now freezing. This weather had to be kidding. The ground was covered in snow and black ice covered the roads. Surely this weather would come to a stop because my summer was down to one less drop. But then one day the sun started to shine and my summer turned out to be just fine. So next time you think this life is too hard, remember that summer isn't too far. Thank you.
If looks could kill. Volunteers? All right then, moving right on down the list. I have Brittany Null. I think one of Miss Seeger's students. Is she here? Okay, I didn't know. I know the next one's here. Isaac King.
Go Isaac.
Okay. My poem is titled Mom. So it says, Mom, your mom is your provider, source of happiness. But that happiness will end someday. Someday your mom will return home to see her mom and dad. But always remember, your mom will be watching you and she will be in your heart. So don't worry, don't cry, because someday you'll return and see her. You will see your mom and be with her forever.
Thank you, Isaac. By the way, I love the Jeep. Takes me back to when I was
In church, there's a holy One nation.
I was going to say college, but that'll work too. All right. Volunteers? All right, our next reader then will be Rhiannon Schroeder. I think Rhiannon might actually read more than one, right?
Yeah, I have two.
Two. All right.
Okay, so have you ever noticed the things that people do? Pay close attention and you won't see it too. That girl who's always happy wears the biggest frown today. If you don't mind, throw a smile her way. The kid with perfect grades who never seems to miss is gone today. What could lead to this? See that boy over there, the one with the greasy, nasty hair? Have you ever thought that maybe his parents just don't care? Take a moment just to think. Even the Titanic can sink.
Yeah.
Tell me, love, why do you cry? You can move on, find another guy. He broke your heart time after time, so many lies it should be a crime. He doesn't deserve you, you could do better. Besides, there's a rumor, he's already trying to get her.
Thank you, Rhiannon. I want to brag on Rhiannon a little bit. Back a couple months ago, our Beta Club students went to Louisville to the state Beta Club convention, and they have competitions there, and Rhiannon competed in the poetry competition, and guess what?
First place.
She got first place.
Yes.
So Rhiannon's going to have the opportunity to go to New Orleans this summer and represent the state of Kentucky as an 8th grader in poetry. Isn't that awesome? Give her another hand. And I'm so glad she's in my class. Volunteers? Okay then. Our next poet will be Jessalyn Pointer.
Once I was played on by the children of my city. I was loved by many. I was the amazing cool zone where you went side to side, around and around. But now I'm alone, sitting here in the park, watching cars go by, not noticing my hidden beauty. That one day where the loneliness came, no one cried out my name. Now here I am, the lonely abandoned park of misery.
Thank you, Jessalyn. That's the last name on my list. So, You've written another poem since you finished reading the last one? I'm sure you can. You could probably just stand up here and make one up on the fly, couldn't you? Come on up here, let's see you do it. Come on, big boy, get up here. Nice try, though. Any students, have you changed your mind and want to read for us? Okay, then what I want you to do right now is I want you to find the sheet on your table that has rain written at the top. If you wrote anything on it, what I like to do at the end here is see if anyone wrote anything that you're, particularly proud of and you'd like to share it. We've had that happen. Sometimes people share what they wrote about rain. You don't even have to come up here to the mic. You can just stand up there where you are and say it aloud if you came up with something. Anyone? Rhiannon! You want to come up here or are you going to do it from there?
I'll just do it from here.
Okay, you got to be loud though.
I can do that.
Okay.
Alright, do you want me to read all of them or just some of them?
You can read whatever you want to.
Okay. Madison's gonna read too. Okay. Rain is what makes us feel human. Rain is a soothing sound to sleep to. Rain can bring it all back. When I think of rain, I think of all the old memories. Rain should cease when we are down, for it only makes it worse. Rain will make the most perfect moments sometimes. The thing about rain is it's not fair to any one person. Rain is like your mother's voice, it calms you through and through. I envy rain because it can always stop its droplets from falling. Rain brings hope for dry land and starving communities. Rain will always make you feel normal. Without rain, the world couldn't begin to understand emotion. Rain means to enjoy what's good, but cover up when it's not. Rain ought to have arms to show you its gentleness. Rain makes me see the world a little more clearly. My favorite kind of rain is cold because it opens my eyes to this beautiful thing called life.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Make sure you leave that with me. Okay. Madison, did I hear her saying that you were going to read some of what you wrote about rain?
I didn't know. I helped out, but I didn't write all of it. But I kind of gave her the idea and she did the words.
LOL.
Did you have another page?
Couple.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Okay.
Loudly.
Rain is the time to rest. Rain is what shows us the rainbows. Rain can bring a smile to the faces of restless children. When I think of rain, I think of the serene forest. Rain should fall on those who need it most. Rain will show you the ropes of life. The thing about rain is it makes you realize you're alive and matter.
There we go. I think Jessica's right. Ann would love to have been here and heard students reading what they wrote. But we're not done. We have another poem to be read. Miss Woods?
Oh yes.
We're going to hear from Miss Woods again. She wrote a poem of her own and give her a hand, guys.
Yes, Miss Woods. Yeah.
Not alone. All through the days I wandered drear, a million thoughts, but not one clear. The pain evolves, the darkness weighs. I can't find light or sunny days. All hope is gone, I dream no longer. My sadness clings, the dark grows stronger. Where did you go? What did I do? I've searched for months, no sign, no clue. What's that I hear? Our voices singing, remembered words and church bells ringing. You are here. You say you never left. I was gone. You were the rest. Oh, the joy I feel. I have returned to receive the blessings I had spurned. The words are clear. Your message true. When you cannot walk, I will carry you. You are not alone. God is there, waiting to heal waiting to share. All the sorrows, pain, and tears, he can help you, calm your fears. Let him in, give him your life. God will share your grief and strife. In his care, you'll be blessed with peace and joy and happiness.
Got one, huh? You want to try one more time?
He wrote a bunch of them.
Do you want to share some of your rain?
Come on.
It's up to you. Speak now or forever hold your tongue. All right. Hey, Logan, you got something to share? Then quit trying to get him to share. All right. All right, I want to, one last call. If anyone would like to share with us something that you wrote. Then at this time, I'm going to open the envelope. And we're going to find out our winners. First thing I want to do is announce the top 10. We had more poems turned in this year than ever before. We had 177 poems that were submitted to the contest. And so you can imagine it's hard to narrow that down to the top 10, and then you have to narrow that down to the top 3. So here are our top 10. And if any of these students are here tonight, would you come up front, please? And I'm going to announce the top 10 in just random order. These are not 10th place, 9th place. I'm just going to randomly name off the top 10. Anthony Carroll, Alexis Heflin, Anna Law, Keenan Baggerly, Kelsey Kennedy, Michaela Hillard, Paige Kirk, Andy Wilson, Sam Tierney, and Lane Romero. Oh, we have a couple here. Good. Give them a hand, you guys. Yeah! Okay then, now. Yeah, y'all can sit back there. Thanks. Here are the checks. Drum roll, please. Third place, Anna Law. Anna's right here. Okay, we'll announce it in the morning, and she can come to the office and get her $10. All right, second place and the winner of $25 is Andy Wilson. Yes. Stay here. And first place, $40 goes to Keenan Baggerly. He's not here. Yes. Okay, so I want, Kelsey, would you come back up here, please? I want, Mr. Johnson, can you take a picture?
What?
You have a camera or phone you can take a picture with?
Yeah.
Of Andy and Kelsey?
Yes.
Y'all stand over here. Right up here, please. Remember, my cut's half of that. Okay, so I want to thank everybody again for coming out tonight. It's been a great poetry night this year. Especially want to thank Ann's family and friends for coming, for sharing her with us, for sharing your poetry and reading. And if I could remember everybody that's here from her family, I'd name every one of you, but you know you're in my heart. You're in all our hearts. We appreciate it. I want to thank everybody again. And remember, if you leave that rain writing that you did And you come back next year, you'll get to see how it all was put together and became the next poem in that packet. Okay? Everybody be safe going home. Students, I'll see you tomorrow.